Warrior, good morning. I don't know when you'll be watching this, but I'm coming to you at the crack of dawn. I'll be putting this up in a little bit. Thank you for following along. Please make sure you subscribe to our Warriors channel. It helps us tremendously. You might not think so, but when I look at the analytics and I see that about 80% of you watching our Warriors videos are not subscribed, I am urging you, it's free and it helps us with algorithms, that terrible word that we're always using. But thank you for all of your support, your donations, your volunteerism, your writing to me. It is overwhelming. You can see I'm dressed to go out on the battlefield. When you see me dressed like this in our Warriors hoodie, it's because I'm going into the schools, I'm going into the communities, and I'm ready. I'm ready to fight for you kids all over. Educate parents, educate kids, educate the educators about the real war going on in our United States of America, and that is the war on for our children. I want to bring something to your attention we don't talk enough about, and we have to. Maybe disturbing to some, but I say good. It should be disturbing because this war on for our children includes the excessive in their faces of pornography. I don't like the word pornography. I don't. It has a certain connotation and an ick factor, people say, but because of these algorithms again, that big tech feeds to our kids, to all of us, right? For instance, you're looking at something online, say you're shopping or something. The next thing is, after a few clicks, you end up in some sort of website with a name related to shopping that's pornographic. Here's the thing. Most kids ages 10, about 10, we have kids as early as 8 have been exposed to violent forms of sexual content. That's why maybe pornography, maybe I have to call it, I have to come up with a new word, but violent forms of sexual content. And they're not even looking for it. And it comes across their phones and their laptops and their Chromebooks and gaming. The exposure to this on the developing brain, this is where they're absorbing. This is where they're learning, what should I get worked up when I talk about the kids. The only thing I am tough, I get worked up because I cannot believe that all of this is allowed, this attack on our kids. And it's so hard to fight. We spend a lot of time with parents and to look in their faces, their children are no longer with us, or they're definitely harmed, mentally. But anyway, what's happening with the kids is the exposure. We know that upwards of 80% have reported to us in focus groups. They have seen horrific things online. Again, not looking for it. It's being fed to them. And we also know that this exposure is setting them up for a lifelong, they think this is, what love is, what intimacy is, what it's supposed to look like, right? And it's violence. And we have so many boys attacking girls. And we're talking about, there was a story recently, 12 and 13-year-old boys raping a 12-year-old girl and stuffing rocks in her mouth, okay? This violent behavior. And this is even before kids know what it's like to hold hands. I had a young person recently say to me, an older teen, lean in and say to me and look at me, could you tell me something? I said, sure, anything. What do you need? Tell me what it was like. I saw some old movies, dating, courting. What is that? What was that like? So you see, we're already setting up our young people. They're under attack from every front, right? Because of the influence of the internet. Now, the internet, digital platforms, social media, here to stay. So we are going to have to come together as warriors and learn how to handle the reality of all of this. We love tech. We want it to be ethical as much as it can, and we want it to also be supportive of our children. It's a wonderful tool that can empower and enrich, and that's where we have to go instead of the other way. So there's a wonderful study, I'll put it in the body of this video, from the National Center on Sexual Exploitation in Washington, D.C., great colleagues of ours, about children, the brains, what they're seeing. And I want you to take your time and I want you to read that and absorb the facts. Remember, we've got to take all of this out of the shadows. Predation counts on isolation and not discussing things. We can no longer be silent. What are we waiting for? I recently spent time with, and this is what I started thinking about at the beginning of this video where I got a little sniffly here. I recently spent time with a group of parents, and all of their children are no longer here. And these parents are out fighting so hard. We have week 5 happening in the LA Superior Court of big tech on trial, that these tech platforms are, dangerous to our kids. Product liability. You're putting out a harmful product backed up by studies from doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, educators, parents, and also whistleblowers that worked at these companies, internal memos. You're putting out a harmful product that harms kids. You must be held accountable, right? Why not? So we have that going on. We have, later on today, in Washington, what's called a House markup of a package of 18 child safety pieces of legislation. They've lumped it all into one, and they're taking out pretty much anything to hold big tech accountable for anything. So you got to think, like, why? Why can't we, in our warriors' ideal world, we know about AI, it's here. We know about big tech. They rule the roost. They have the money. They've got, Mark Zuckerberg employs 1 lobbyist per 6 members of Congress. We at the Warriors don't have that. We have truth and facts on our side. We have the parents and families on our side. Why can't we, which is what I preached all last weekend, and I'll tell you more about that in the coming days, work together, okay? Work together to afford families and kids some sort of safeguards. This is not about your personal privacy. Don't give me it's the parents' fault. It's up to the parents. To a certain extent, let me tell you, there's something called parental autonomy. I can't tell you when to buy your child a phone, a laptop, gaming. I can suggest, I can say delay is the way, I can point out studies, but that is up to you. We have parental autonomy, right? We need to educate, raise the awareness these things are happening. But at the same time, I agree. I get a lot of attacks over this when I say don't blame the parents. Parents are overwhelmed. Look at all the issues going on. But we have to come back to community creates change in the home. We have to talk to our children open and honestly. We have to understand the reality. There's more predation against kids, right? They are the money makers. They're the eyeballs online that keep everything swirling and going and create ad revenue for these big tech platforms. We have to make the kids aware of this. Once they understand and you understand, things change. Delay is always the way. Why does a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old need to be on social media? Right? Wait till 8th. Wait until 8th. That's another one of our slogans. Okay? Again, the kids are savvy. Put the devices down. Start with 15 minutes a day. Work up to an hour or 2 a day. Get off the devices. But that entails time and energy and, going out for a walk or cooking together or sitting down to say, let's talk about what you learned in school today, did in school today. Hey, who are your friends? Tell me about your football game or your art class. We've got to make this concerted effort in 2026. This is a banner year. There's a lot at stake. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying this to shock everybody. Our culture has changed. Our society has changed. People have changed. Our kids are our future American adults and leaders. It is up to us, the adults, the moms, the grandmas, grandpas, dads, okay? We at the Warriors are working hard. Please come along with us. As far as the parents, caretakers, talk to the kids. They want us to mentor and talk and take an interest in them, right? We still, because it's so critical and crucial, need legislation. Stop you bots out there attacking me, because I know some big tech platforms employ bots. We need things like the Kids Online Safety Act with a duty of care that these big tech companies will take down harmful content. That's all we're asking. We're talking about kids, minors, right? We have seatbelts and bicycle helmets. Oh, I'm tired of that. Don't drink and drive. But the internet, opening the door up to the world, giving it to kids. No kind of regulation, no kind of guardrails. Maybe we have to go straight to, like Australia, no social media 16 and under. I don't know how else we can do this. Kids Online Safety Act, Senate version 1748. Why you fight so hard? The House today, voting, lumping that in, stripping it. So you can say, we have child safety. Look what we did, America, parents, caregivers, when it's really a bunch of nothing. So I'll see what this hearing that begins at 10 a.m. today, what that's all about. Be doing full reporting. But I'm thinking about the parents I just spent time with who fight so hard. They're out in the streets. They're in front of Congress. They're projecting last night in Washington their children no longer with us on the sides of buildings so the public can see. They want to just keep raising awareness and talking about this. It's a bipartisan issue. It doesn't belong to any political party. We're Americans. We come together for our kids. So join us. The pornography, we're going to talk about it more. It is exploding into our children's lives every day and polluting their minds. And this is not about being a prude. I mean, after all, I grew up and started in the music business. You can't tell me or show me anything I haven't seen over the decades. Okay, this is about protecting our kids. And pornography, yeah, let's talk about it. It's extreme. It's violent. We're a family show at the Warriors, but I can tell you, a lot of this pornography involves children. It's children seeing children, children being abused online, memorialized, and that is called CSAM, child sexual abuse material. And that, my friend, is the moneymaker. And that we're going to fight. We're not letting our kids being exploited. We're going to talk about it. We're going to sound the alarm. We're going to keep marching on Congress. I don't care. They work for us. We are going to keep telling big tech, you owe us. And I leave you with this thought. Big tech CEOs such as Mark Zuckerberg, you know what? They're on record. And they say, we don't allow our kids on social media. No. Bill Gates, I don't allow my kids when they were younger on social media. But it's good enough for your child? Let that sink in. Join us. LynnsWarriors.org. Community creates change. Write to me, Lynn@LynnsWarriors.org. The fight continues. I'm here to help each and every one of you. When you wake up, every single day, be of that mindset of protecting children. Now go out and be a warrior.